all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service.
Hey there, your yard took a real beating this summer. Luckily, Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard has your back. Just feed your grass with Scott's again this fall when the air is cool and the soil is warm. It's the perfect time to give your lawn a boost. If you do, Winter Guard will give your yard the nourishment it needs to help weak, thin grass recover and support root growth, giving you a greener, more resilient lawn both now and next spring. Guaranteed. Grab a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard today. You'll be back to barbecuing in no time. This is a Scott's Yard.
Hey parents, we all try to be extra careful with our children in the car, but then we get an important call or text. Remember, our children are watching. Make every drive a good example. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
Hello, my name is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consulting, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting, or Twitter at Coach TWill24, or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.
Back on the Bossman Show here with Bellarmine Knights head coach Scott Davenport out of the A-Sun. They'll be playing Kansas State this year. Coming down here to see those Owls up the road from here. So, Coach Davenport, how are you and your staff doing up there in Louisville, man?
Everybody's good. Everybody's good. You know, these young guys keep you good because they're resilient. No matter what you throw at them, it's like if you run a mile race and you get an eighth of a mile from the finish line and they go, no, we're going to run 2 miles. They're okay. They're okay. You know, they just, I think a true love for the game is an important part of recruiting because that's a talent. You know, when you care and when you're passionate, that's a talent. That's a skill too. That's not just being able to run, jump, and put a ball in a basket. And I really, really appreciate our guys and their passion for the game.
Now, Coach, let's go about the March here when everything kind of got shut down. How's that for you and your team, man? I know you're probably getting ready for the tournament and everything that's kind of shut down, and guys had to go home from being on campus, going virtual. So how was it for your young men dealing with the adversity of the pandemic, then academically being at home and being virtual? How was it for you and your young men?
Well, we've always had a philosophy here where, and it's built on over years, as a senior, you never want to take your jersey off for the last time. You know, it's Division II basketball. The likelihood of playing past college is not a guarantee. We've had 17 of them play beyond here, but it's surely not a guarantee. And we were in the middle of spring break. And you never want to take your jersey off the last time, but you never want to take it off from playing with that group of teammates for the last time. So we're in spring break, and we had practice on that Thursday. We had film at 11:30, practice at 12:15, and then we were going over to have a team meal. We had a private room set up because the campus is closed, spring break.
Mm-hmm.
Come back, film that night. The next morning, we're going to get up, have practice at 10 o'clock, and then get on the bus and go to Indianapolis for the NCAA tournament. And in between practice ending at 2:45 and reporting at 5 o'clock to the meal, the tournament was.
Wow.
We end up in a private room. Our families came, the staff's families came. We closed the door. And it was very, very emotional because those players, they never got to take their jersey off for the last time. They took it off in practice, went to have a meal. They're going to maybe get shots up that night, get ready. You know, the NCAA tournament, we're leaving the next day, and the season's canceled. It was tough. It was tough. And those four seniors, Chris Palambizio, Alex Cook, Ben Wire, Parker Chitty, were four tremendous, tremendous young men that I will always have just an unbelievable bit of pain for them because they never got to take their jersey off for the last time. But the positive of it, we have 11 guys back from that team, and they have driven themselves every single day. And I think part of it is it's that emptiness they felt that afternoon in March.
Most definitely, Coach. And, you know, I can only imagine for those young men the gut punch. Because it's hearing you describe it, it hurts me for them. Because, you know, you want to have that last experience to say, hey, I played it to my last, and all of a sudden a pandemic comes and it just wipes me out, and it's just over like so fast. Like, it's that snap of the finger, it's done. And it does leave you an empty feeling inside, like, oh, my goodness, like, wow.
But you know, again, the resiliency of these young people, it's amazing how resilient they are. They are amazing. I've always been an advocate of young people because I don't have any grandkids. I got one. I have a granddaughter that's 2 years old.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, I kid our players all the time that they're the answer. You know, she needs them. She needs them to be great. They can't just be okay. They got to be great because there's a lot of questions in society right now, a lot of levels. And these young people are the answer. It's not me. These young people are the answer. So, you know, I've got great faith in them. And more than that, I got great admiration for what these young people do. They're amazing.
Now, Coach, how did you all handle them being at home, being back in their environments virtually? How was that this offseason of spring and summer here? How was that?
I should have taken all my investment capital that I own in the world, invested in Zoom.
Yes, you should have.
Oh my gosh. We try to be as supportive and as creative from an academic standpoint, an athletic standpoint, a morale standpoint, you know, mentally, as you could. We had Zoom calls, you name it. Like I had it set up, but Allen Houston, who's a vice president of the New York Knicks, who's an NBA great, played for me in high school. And Allen just turned 50 years old. I mean, he's from a totally different era. And Allen crashed one of our Zoom calls one day, and our players were, I kind of tipped them off. They knew about him, and they were going crazy, and just it wouldn't end. It kept going and kept going and kept going, and he's asking them questions, and they're asking him things. It was great. The city of Louisville's had a lot of unrest. We've had a very, very difficult stretch. And the spokesman from our Louisville Metro Police Department is an African-American, a gentleman named Dwight Mitchell. I've known Dwight for 35 years. And Dwight joined a Zoom call one night, and he addressed a lot of issues point blank. He's the spokesman for the Louisville Metro Police Department.
Oh, wow.
I mean, something tragic happens, and he has to show up and give an explanation. And we had Dwight. I've had former players join. We've watched motivational videos together. We've had people in the business sector join us, people from the military who served our country, you name it. Just trying to keep everybody engaged. But most important, to be there for our guys. If it's once, twice, 3 times a week, just to be there for them. Again, mentally as well as physically. You know, the physical part, get them to where they can work on their body and their game, etc. Yeah, that's one thing. But being a resource for them where they can feel very comfortable. Like, Coach, what do you think about Coach, what's going to happen with this? And trying to keep them in tune to the news, to what's going on. You know, we encouraged them, stay engaged. It's funny, everybody made this big issue about being registered to vote, and we had it done when we came back.
Wow.
We were way ahead of it.
Yes, you were.
Way ahead of it. Well, I mean, we were like, hey, we had 2 players, and we said, okay, you got to get engaged, and this is, you know, you're going to do this. It's going to last a lifetime. So just different things. Believe me, when I had all that idle time on my mind, man, my mind was working, racing 100 miles an hour.
Coach, do you take any time for yourself over the pandemic break? I know some coaches have told me they picked up new hobbies over the pandemic. What about you? Did you take some time for yourself to kind of find something you want to do?
No, I ran more miles. I was up between 38 and 45 miles a week, and that's carried over.
Wow, and that's amazing. I mean, I need to get on your regimen, Coach.
Watch what you wish for now. You better watch out. Watch what you wish for.
Hey, Coach, I have my little stepper here, my little exercise bike in the other room. I feel bad now. Just ride 30 minutes on my bike a day. I need to get like Coach Davenport.
That's where I would get lost. I would get lost, and I'd be thinking, you know, who are we going to Zoom with? How are we going to do this? Let's talk to this guy. And you know, the whole time, it went through, boss. It was 3 stages. The very first stage, it was like the longest snow day ever. You know, when you have a snow day and school's canceled, you're real excited. You're like, man, I don't have to go to school. And that was kind of cool, but you know, that didn't last. It lasted too long. Then the second stage, I'll never forget, we had a Zoom, and I told our players, I said, you know, guys, these are very humbling times. These times are humbling us, because think of it, we were having a Zoom, and I had 15 players and a staff, you know, Knoxville, Columbus, Ohio, Evansville, Indiana, Louisville, Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, all over the Midwest. And we can all look at each other just like I'm looking at you right now. And I said, you know, guys, if I tell you to go on some scavenger hunt, all you got to do is put an address in your phone and you find it just like that. And we can do everything, right? I said, but we can't figure this out. We can't figure it out. I said, this is humbling times, because we think we can do everything. You know, we can Zoom. We don't have to meet face-to-face, Coach. We'll have a Zoom. But we couldn't figure this out. So we went from being, you know, like the longest snow day, we were excited. Then it was very, very humbling. And it was a very down time. And then I think the last stage, in a way we're there to this day, is the smartest people in the world, in the entire world, can't figure this out. And they're trying 24/7. They're working at trying to come up with a vaccine and how we stop the spread and how we do this and all the entire world. And, you know, we can't figure this out. And that's tough. So you kind of go back and you get in your bubble, so to speak, and just win the day. Just let's win the day. And I know that sounds coach cliche. I get it. But really, that's where we are right now.
No, it's
and
true,
we just
Coach.
It is.
It's
It
true.
is. It's very, I mean, the smartest people in the world can't figure this out. And they're working 24/7. So, you know, we have to lean on each other, be there for each other, and understand priorities in terms of doing what's right, being disciplined, taking care of school, taking care of your body, and working on your basketball, period.
In the for me, Coach, the positive in the pandemic is I'm able to see people I talk to. Now, it's not just a phone anymore. I can see guys now I talk to, like you, and meeting for the first time. I can see you, can see me, because, that's the thing I told my godfather and my dad about this. I said, the only thing good about this is I can see my guests now. It's the only thing that's good about this pandemic. I can see my guests now. It's not the phone. Now I'll see you in person when you come to Atlanta or I come to a game. You can see me now. Oh, okay, that's JR. He's a cool guy. He's a nice guy. See my demeanor.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So that's something good about this is this right here.
Well, I mean, you think about me personally. There was a time where, because of precaution, and she lives 4 minutes away, and we were not allowed to see our granddaughter.
Wow.
She lives 4 minutes away.
Wow.
But, we would Zoom with her, so many, and, she wasn't even 2 years old. And she's like, well, pop, and, there are. But I think what will happen, it will make us more appreciative of every minute of every day. And I hope through this, we become a more respectful, considerate society. I really do. I think if we respect the things we have, if we appreciate them, and we're more considerate of other people, maybe in the end, maybe it'll help us all. That's we've got to grab onto that.
Yes, sir. And Coach, let me ask you, as far as scheduling games, you lost 2 weeks here. It's now the 25th of November, and I know you transitioned from D2 to D1 now in A-Sun. How trying to schedule games being? You have to raise money as well for the university. So how was that whole monster been for you?
Well, it's now 12 minutes after 11, and I came up. There's a radio doing live from our locker room today. And I think when I came up, it was about 10:45. I don't think our schedule's changed since then, but I haven't checked. Maybe it has. You have to be flexible and you have to work with each other. But I will give college basketball credit. Dan Gavitt, the executive director of the NCAA of men's college basketball, has had a plan all along. And the A-Sun had a plan all along. Football, I think, as being a football fan and a fan of college athletics, way back in March, I think there was a certain mentality that, we'll be okay. We're talking about September. We'll be fine. Then it was like, whoa, we better get ourselves together. Mm-hmm. Well, the NCAA football is run conference to conference. It's not run by a governing body like the NCAA basketball is. So I think Dan Gavitt, being in charge of it and taking over and saying, okay, here we're going to move back your beginning of practice, and now we're going to move back our start date of games, and we're going to work together. I think it's been so fluid, but it gives me a lot of hope because there's going to be setbacks. We've seen setbacks in football. Mm-hmm. Well, think about this. There's 356 Division I college basketball teams. I mean, it's law of averages. There's going to be setbacks. The first 3 weeks of college football, 22.3% of the games were either canceled or postponed. And that's a limited number, only playing once a week. We're talking 356 college basketball teams playing once or twice, maybe 3 times a week. So we're going to have to stay flexible. And again, that's why Dan Gavitt put a minimum number of games, 13, a maximum number of games, at 27. But I think we're trying to stay ahead of it and be as flexible and work together as much as we can. But it's difficult. Bo Braden on our staff has led us in that regard, and he has been a superstar, no doubt.
And travel-wise in A-Sun for you was not that bad because Lipscomb's and Nashville 2 hours away from you. Atlanta is not that far from Louisville. North Alabama is not that far from Nashville. So,
Liberty, you're right.
Liberty. So, mercifully, you will have your worst travel is probably going to be to Jacksonville and North Florida. Probably be your worst travel, probably.
And Gulf Coast.
And Gulf Coast, yeah. So
that's it.
So you can probably get away with busing most games and having to fly to Florida.
Well, right now we think there'll be 2 trips. 2 trips will require flights. That's where we are right now. That's what it looks like. Non-conference, right? And we're in a basketball-rich area here with a lot of colleges in the Midwest. So, yeah, we're trying to be as prudent as we can and having a great schedule, but trying to also generate revenue for the athletic department. Now, it's a big task, but our schedule, like I said, it hadn't changed since I came up here. At least they haven't told me.
Now, Coach, the good thing about going D1 now, you have 13 scholarships now. In D2, you had 10 that you can kind of split however you want to split them. So how's it been, having full 13 now and everybody has some walk-ons? He had 11 guys already, so give them all scholarships now and add 2 more guys and have some walk-ons. How's that been for you?
Boss, that's amazing, JR. You're the first one to ask me that. It's more difficult. Let me tell you why. In Division II, having 10, you could divide them. 2 years ago, we had 17 because of the high level of academics. We literally had 17 full scholarship. Last year, we had 16. Now 13 means 13. So we were handcuffed. We had 4 seniors last year. Just do the math. That means we had 1 signee. We were handcuffed. And it'll take us 2 or 3 recruiting cycles to get back to where we're bringing in normal size classes. And it's been very difficult. It's been incredibly difficult. You're the first person to ask me that. That's a great question.
Yeah, because I really do care about the smaller schools. Because I know a lot of the Power Fives get all the plug, but the little guys, you need some plug too. I want to be a champion for you guys because I came from Tennessee State University, so I know how it is in a low major school. I know how it is. I've seen what resources are, our facilities. I know what a kid at a lower major school has to deal with at D1. In D2 as well. I've seen it right in my face. Because let's come down the road before they came up. I saw it, so I know how it is for you guys making a transition up to D1. So I really feel for you guys, and I want people to understand it. It's not easy as you think. We're going D1. A lot of things you have to kind of transition into and go over to get there and make it become a full member as well.
Oh, it's an incredible. I call it a good busy though. It's a good busy. And I'll say this to you, JR. Last year, looking back, I think will end up being the most difficult year I'll ever coach in my life. And, and I coached this as Coach Denny Crum retired at Louisville, and that was difficult. I coached as Coach Patino came to Louisville. That was difficult. But last year, June 17th of 2019, we announced our transition. Well, we had an entire year of 19 and 20, an entire season. And as everybody in this community was so excited, people on this campus were excited. Everywhere you went, oh, your son plays basketball at Bellarmine. Wow, they're going D1. Well, Alex Cook and Ben Wire and Chris Palambizio and Parker Chitty were seniors. They wasn't going D1. Mm-hmm. So we vowed to our players we would never utter one syllable about next year. And we didn't. And then our year ends, pandemic hits. Wow. It's tough. It was tough. But, again, you take care of, put those players first. Proud of all 4 of them. They've all got a minimum of 1 degree from Bellarmine, working on 2. And they're all going to be successful. And they will always have a very, very special place in this program, no doubt. But moving forward, you had at the same time, you had to be prepared. You had to be recruiting. You had to be scheduling. Everything was new. And a lot of it was unknown, not just new. It was unknown. So it's okay. The unknown's good. We're ready to go.
Now, how has it been for us kind of get film on the guys, watching the film through the film system that you guys have, look kind of kicking up North Alabama, Kennesaw, and Lipscomb and Liberty, and I see what you're up against when you get in conference play here, because those teams are tough. Every night here, I see it right in my backyard. Those games are a barn burner every time out there.
We've done our homework there, but I think what you're going to find in the pandemic in general, a lot of teams are going to play different. A lot of changes were made because there was a lot of interacting going on, clinics virtually and sharing of new ideas and maybe new styles of play. So, and then with the transfers that you always have in college basketball, and then this coming January, it looks like there's going to be a lot more of them. Things are going to be constantly changing, but we'll hold true to playing the way we play. Now, obviously, we're playing tremendous competition. Nobody will have more respect for the competition than we will. Trust me.
And Coach, you've been so successful at Bellarmine. I mean, I saw the record you have, man. Your record in the Great Lakes Conference was like, man, you were doing some things there. So you have a
Well,
great
it wasn't
tradition
always
already.
like that. It wasn't always like that, believe me.
Yeah, but I saw the record. I said, man, Coach Davenport doing great things. And you've coached with some great people like Coach Crum and Coach Patino. I've been watching those games when I was a youngster, watching you guys play Kentucky and stuff like that. So how was Bells playing Kentucky versus Louisville? How was that? 'Cause I know that's a big rivalry up there. Either Louisville or you UK up there.
Woo! It was, it's tough because there's no words to describe what it gets like going up to that game. From a coaching standpoint, you can't escape it. I mean, it's impossible, especially in this day and age of the social media. And I mean, you can't. There's people, sports makes people crazy. And there's a lot, of, I know this, my wife quit going to those games.
Oh,
We would
wow.
go to take our family when we would play in Lexington, and it just became so difficult. I mean, it was tough. And then it was magnified when, Coach Patino leaves Kentucky and goes to the Celtics. Then he comes back, of all places, he comes back to Louisville. That was tough. I mean, that was tough. But those were games to be a part of them. The preparation that went into those games was incredible because the stakes were so high. And it was a non-conference basketball game. At the end of the day, it was a non-conference basketball game. But no, that wasn't your approach. It was incredible. I mean, I've said forever, and I've got unbelievable respect for Duke and Carolina and NC State and that Tobacco Road, but the greatest college basketball fans are right here. And the numbers don't lie. It's 18 straight years, the NCAA tournament highest market in the country has been this Louisville market.
Wow.
18 straight years. The highest market on CBS has been right here. I mean, it's a 3-week holiday here. It's like 3 weeks of crowd. When you get into March here, it's like 3 weeks of Christmas.
Oh, yeah. I feel like the NBA should come there a little. I feel like they come to Louisville. I feel like they should expand to Louisville and play at the Yum Center and,
Got a lot of talk.
move Memphis to the Eastern Conference with Louisville and put KC and Seattle in the Western Conference. It'll be perfect. 'Cause, for me from Atlanta, I can come to Louisville and Memphis and see some games and be back here in Atlanta in a few hours. Well, that's just my personal selfishness.
Actually, there's a movement here that's led. There's an official group called NBA 2 Louisville, NBA numeral 2 Louisville, and it's headed up by Dan Issel, a longtime NBA, ABA great. Dan Issel lives here, and that's his passion.
I hope it happens.
There was just talk 2 weeks ago about Toronto coming here only for 1 year, because Toronto, as of right now, Canada will not allow teams from foreign countries in. Just like the Toronto Blue Jays had to play in Buffalo. Well, there was a movement trying to get Toronto to come use the Yum Center for 1 year. Who knows?
Yes, indeed. Well, Coach, thank God your conference comes this close to me, so I'll see you at Kennesaw. I'll try to see you at Lipscomb as well, because I know that those are right in my backyard. I still have a house in Nashville still, so I go up there pretty often. Still have a house there. So hopefully I can see you when we come play Lipscomb and in Kennesaw.
I tell you what. Now, Nashville's a heck of a college basketball town with Belmont, Lipscomb, Vandy, Tennessee State. That's a heck of a college basketball town. Middle, not very far away. That's a heck
Austin
of a college
P as well.
basketball town. Austin P, absolutely.
You got that right.
That's a heck of a college basketball area now. It's really underrated. It is. I know we won a region in 2005 when I was at Louisville. We played the first 2 rounds on our way to the Final Four in Nashville. And boy, that town turned out. It was, it was easy because Louisville was 3 hours away and we had a great following. But that town, that NCAA tournament, that launched our road to the Final Four. The city of Nashville was incredible. That week was big time.
Oh, yes. Dash loves some hoops, especially SEC tournament week. You go downtown, it's all Kentucky blue and Vol orange. I mean, it's something to see downtown on Broadway for sure.
Wow. That's great. I mean, I'm excited. And I know Lipscomb is a tremendous program. Coach Acuff was at Alabama Huntsville when I was at Bellarmine, and we played him my first 2 years here. And I mean, I've got as much respect for Coach Acuff as anybody in the game. Trust me.
Yeah, my mom's a Lipscomb grad, and she loved Casey Alexander until he went over to Belmont. I just laughed at her. Said, you can't have him on your show anymore. He went over the Belmont. I said, Casey's my guy, Mama.
It's a heck of it's an underrated college basketball town. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, my mom still upset me, Coach. I told Tennessee State don't vote for Lipscomb. She's still mad about me about that. I said, look, I had to go where I had to go for free.
Good choice.
It was either Lipscomb, Tennessee State, or here at Georgia State. And I said, I don't want to be here in Atlanta going to college. So I go up to Nashville. So I chose Nashville over staying home here in Georgia State here in Atlanta. So that she said, we should go with the Lipscomb, son. I said, well, nah, I went to Tennessee State. It was free. I had to pay to go to Lipscomb.
Good for you. That's a good idea. That's good financial decision right there.
At 17 years old, Coach. At 17. I just chose it. My dad didn't care, but my mom did. My dad didn't care. He's like, wherever you want to go, son's fine with me. But mom was like, oh, Lipscomb. I'm a Lipscomb. I said, nah, they're not paying for my education. I'm going to Tennessee State. They're paying for it. Sorry. So we say about that, Coach, all the time. Lipscomb, my mom to this day still gets on me about that all the time, Coach. All the time. I hear it at least twice a week. Yeah, you still just shun me, son. You shunned me. So
I married my wife. My wife graduated from the University of Kentucky, and and then I'm coaching at Louisville, and people said, "Well, how'd that go?" I said, "Well, she got her master's from U of L, so she finally wised up." And
that's right.
It was okay.
Get out there, right? Coach Davenport, thank you for your time this morning. It was fun to talk to you. We got to do this again real soon. I really enjoyed our talk today, Coach. I really did.
Boss, whatever I can do to help you out, partner, you let me know.
Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Album is available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today. True Speech and 313 Fresh. Family Grind ENT. Believe in it. Get it.
A gorgeous tan from Suntan City gives you an inner glow that relights the fire when you run into your first crush.
Vicky, who was that?
An old boyfriend.
Lucky you just tanned at Suntan City.
Lucky he's single. We're doing lunch tomorrow.
Won't be single for long then.
During Tour of the City, try all 5 tans, including spray tan, for just $4.99. Restrictions may apply. Click to buy now.
Suntan City, let yourself shine.
When you're a teen, you finally get to make some of your own decisions. Who are you going to hang out with? What do you want to be? Are you going to glance at that text while driving? Remember, a split second is all it takes for something tragic to happen. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
It's maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer.
Tell me what you gonna do to me. Confrontation ain't nothing new to me. You could bring a bullet, bring a sword, bring a morgue, but you can't bring the truth to me.
Alexa, play Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Okay. Maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
Yeah, it's your man JC, the host with the most, baby, and it goes down each and every Saturday night right here in the city of Memphis. That's right, y'all. It goes down at Clicks Sports Bar Memphis, baby. 3705 Malco Way, Memphis, Tennessee 38125. Come out and join us, the Three Kings, each and every Saturday night for the livest karaoke in the city. Everybody gets in free till 10 p.m. Only $5 after. Great food. We got drink specials. We got all kind of games, man. We got the pool tables popping. Whatever you want, we got you, man. Come on out. Have a good time with us each and every Saturday night. That's Clicks Sports Bar, Memphis.